smarter than Stephen Hawking, and you buy into your own bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
In all fairness, we're all a little smarter than Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, we're all a little tougher.
He doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
You got to have babies, Mike. You're too good a guy.
I wanted
somebody pregnant.
I wanted to desperately. I've always wanted to since I was a little kid. I had this weird desire to be like a little league dad. You know, where most guys wanted to be like Clune Dog
you can
and
pick out
bang
which
all the
kids
chicks. I always wanted to be like a little league dad. I did.
It's funny when I coach my son's little league team, and you can pick out. You go, oh my god, this kid's gay. This kid's totally gay, and they come undone between first and second. They run to first like little men because that part's rehearsed. They dig it out, and the second you go, go, take two, they're just like, ah! Their hat flies off. They go back and get it.
I have a lot of. It's funny. It's funny you bring up running. I have a lot of gay friends, and they're all kind of like. None of them are like pudgy, kind of like wealthy, stylish.
Because they get the shower next to the fucking
gay
dogs.
Friends are the swollest, most yoked out, roid free, way into roids, love roids, and like high grade. They don't. They're always like, I was like, hey man, you got any? You know, back when I used to roid, I'd be like, you got any Deca? You know, maybe some like veterinarians. Like, oh, they always like have American made, high end medical,
we're on to
human grade Winstrol and
they always
A bombs and stuff. So and they're super buff. And they look like these manly dudes. They ride Harleys. They got like vintage Ferraris, and they're these manly, super macho dudes. And then once you'll see them run, and you're like, "Oh, you're gay. You're gay." It's something about running. It just separates like straight dudes from gay guys.
I just got a tweet. How does a manly athlete like you throw like such a girl in the movie Go? And I was like, how did you not figure that out? I just wrote back, I threw with my left hand.
Yeah,
but I threw it as hard as I could. Because if you throw with your left hand, if you're a righty, you could do okay. You're going to feel ridiculous. But if you just grab Scott Wolf's wearing a wire in the we both play gay guys in the movie Go. That's what made me think of it.
Good film.
And thank you. And he's still wearing the wire. We've been talking about this girl we've killed, and we realized we're still wearing a police wire. So I take it and throw it across the street. But I wanted it to be funny, but I didn't want it to look like I was in a fucking goofy comedy. Right. So with my left hand, I threw that shit as hard as I could. Throw something lefty, and you'll be all right. But throw something. I challenge you to do this when you get home. Just pick something up and spur the moment without any thought. Throw it lefty as hard as you fucking can. You will look pretty gay.
Yeah, of course, because it's so odd. But
did you ever do gay stuff for drugs?
No, I would admit it.
You would admit.
I like there was a point in my life where I totally would have. Like I didn't have any money. When I was living on the East Coast. I was living in New Jersey towards the end. I had no place to go. I had a miserable bitch of a girlfriend that was just a bad person, but she was the only one who would like let me sleep in her place, and like I had kind of a little network of people out there with her family. I had no prospects of a career or anything good in my life, and when I would run out of dough, when I had to have a little bit of dough in my pocket, I'd use that up. And if there was a point where, at that point, if a guy walked in, he's like, "Oh, all the crack you want if you suck my cock," I would have been drinking jizz without hesitation.
Yeah, I don't see what the big deal is. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen, I talk about this in my stand-up. If anybody wants to come see me in October at Gotham, I'll be there. It'll be tremendous. But Charlie Sheen was making $1.7 million a week.
Right.
And he couldn't make that work for himself. And he had a problem with the showrunner, Chuck Lorre.
Yeah.
And I say this on stage, and it'll be completely outdated. I won't be able to say it in October if you come see me at Gotham. But for $1.7 million a week, I don't think people realize the type of money that is. That's $7 million a month. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
That's more money than A-Rod makes, and there's never an away game. You just drive to fucking CBS Radford 20 times.
I honestly wouldn't be able to, like, comfortably do the show tonight, Loveline tonight, by 10 o'clock, if I signed a $1.7 million a year deal today.
Yeah.
If I got a deal for $1.7 million a year, I don't think I'd be able to make it to work because I'd be so lightheaded because I wouldn't be able to wrap my head around this surreal existence of 1.7 a year.
I don't know what that tastes like.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're a wealthy
guy.
On the road,
I'm hoofing it. But I always said on stage, I said, for $1.7 million a week, you could have told me, all right, JJ, here's good news and bad news. CBS comes up to me and says, the good news is we're going to pay you $1.7 million a week, and we're going to keep Gary Unmarried on the air for 6 years. And I'm going to go, oh, my God, what's the bad news? The bad news is every Thursday, the show's creator, Chuck Lorre, is going to come into your dressing room, and you're going to have to suck his dick. And I'll go, shush, what's the bad news?
Right.
Because for $1.7 million, I am sucking his dick well. I'll put my fingers in his ass when he doesn't expect it. This guy will get getting blown by his wife. He'll be thinking about me.
He's never really.
And I'll put some shit in the bank in case I have a sick day. I'll be like, you got another one in you? Yeah. And I'll get another load out of
people.
That doesn't make you gay. That makes you rich.
Right. It makes you and reasonable. It's
and
like,
I would tell people, you want to know how I got $8 million a month? I suck every fifth day, this guy comes to my room and I suck his dick, and people go, "You're fucking gay." I'm like, "No, have you met my wife, my beautiful 2 boys, my nice house? And by the way, how are you enjoying the ride on my private jet as we go to Turks and Caicos for my private island that I own?"
It's true. I mean, and like
it wouldn't even taste bad.
No, it probably would. I've tasted my own jizz.
It's buttermilk and Clorox.
It's not fun. Yeah.
What's it taste like?
It's really bitter. It's really bitter.
Yours is bitter?
Yeah.
Show me. No. So you graduated to crack?
Yeah, that was like
high school?
Towards the end. That was what really I was probably like 20 when I really, because I'd been doing blow whenever it was around. But then I learned how to properly, because it just got to the point where it was, first off, it's not cost effective to be snorting that much blow unless you're rich, and I was not a rich man.
But how do you sit through fucking history, AP history, if you're drinking 6 shots for breakfast and
I didn't.
smoking meth?
I was a straight D student.
But you showed up.
Yeah, I never ditched class. Oddly enough, I was never a guy who like ditched class.
And I bet,
but I was a D average student.
In your mind, only because you're an addict, and I want to pick it and share it, your brain. In your mind, where you're like, I obviously don't have a problem. I'm going to fucking class every day.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you.
And I was a really good athlete. I wasn't the.
Did you ever play football on like crack? I mean, on meth?
No. But I was baked and drunk pretty much every game in practice.
Drunk?
Yeah. At least have a couple shots. Like I was one of those guys. But you're exactly right. You just learn to justify, because I was like, I'm not like these losers out there.
Yeah. That guy
in the panel van smoking weed. Like I at least show up and like I've got prospects to do something with my life. I'm a 3-sport athlete. I'm pretty damn good at all 3 sports. Like I'm like what was somewhat well respected in the community. I don't because I never like
I was John Wayne Gacy,
but I never broke the law. I never bullied kids. I never vandalized shit. I wasn't a bad kid. I was just a class clown that loved to get fucked up. And
if I smoked grass in high school, I think I could have taken that into the wrestling room and fucking parlayed that into a college scholarship.
You wrestled really small, right? You were really little.
105 when I was a freshman, but then like senior year, 135. But like I never cut weight, I never gave a shit. But if I was stoned, I know you get the munchies stereotypically, but if I was stoned, I could have just fucking rode it out and not eaten. And I just would have done sit-ups. And everyone's listening that smokes grass. You've had those days where you just smoke grass, go to the gym and go, I'm just fucking doing biceps. I'm just blowing them up.
Yeah.
And you just super concentrate on your fucking curls. And you just get bugged out. You're listening to Maiden on your headphones and you're just doing concentration curls, just staring at your fucking biceps.
You're like, I'm going to be so muscular and buff.
Yeah, but I'm just doing the little muscles today. You don't want to be baked fucking ripping, benching 240.
I've actively puked being stoned out of my mind, hitting like 0.4 plates and then going to do a squat and then getting to the bottom of that and just shot out puke. Like my brain just went haywire and I shot puke out.
While you had
from the bottom of the squat. Yeah, like in the pit.
Did you get it back up? Or did
No.
you drop?
No. I just fell and then
Now you know what, Mike? Get back to me when you get that fucking weight back up.
I know.
Then you're a fucking real man.
No, that's a real G.
Now you smoked a lot of crack.
Yes, lots.
And you did
lots.
tons of acid.
Yes.
Tell us some stories. Like this fascinating.
Here's a kick ass drug story I've told on Loveline, but it never really ceases to get old to people. I was like just graduated high school, and I told my parents I was like, I don't want to be like all these other Ivy League guys. It's not for me. I want to be like Kerouac. I'm going to go experience the world. I'm going to Europe, whether you like it or not. So I had like a couple $1,000, and I took like a little
How
bit. How
old? I'm sorry.
I was before I moved to San Francisco. I was like probably 18 and a half.
Great. Just graduated high school. Okay.
And I was for 2 months. I was going to go to.
This is More Stories. Mike Catherwood is our guest. At Mike Catherwood.
Sorry. So I hopped on a plane. I landed in London. That was going to be my first place where I stopped down. And this is probably 1998, 97, 98. And so I stopped there and I meet these guys and they're locals, and I go to Piccadilly Circus because that's where like the Sex Pistols hung out, and I figured that's where like drugs would be.
Did you bring drugs on the plane?
No, but I got hammered. Yeah. So I went out there. I met these guys, and these guys I wanted to buy ecstasy because we were all going to like the dance nightclubs and stuff. And these guys are like, well, look, I could sell you what would be like a pill for $20 American a piece, or I could sell you 200 and it would be like 300 American dollars. And I was like, well, that sounds like the deal.
Now you're Billy Hayes in Midnight
Express. Because I'm like, now not only do I have a lot of icy, I can prolong my trip because I can get some money. I'll hit the club.
What could happen? Locked up abroad, Mike Catherwood.
So I buy it. We start taking them. We start drinking.
What do you mean? You just met these guys? Like, hey, how you doing? I'm new in town. You got any drugs?
Yeah.
That's really just it's easy as that.
Yeah, because I didn't have a place to stay at that point, and I was really drunk.
Frankfurt, Germany. It's like going to a comedy club and asking for reefer.
It's so funny. Like you and I right now, there's no way I could pull that off. But when I was super drunk and really wanting drugs,
you know who has it.
And you get that sense. Exactly.
Yeah,
like I went to the bar, I got drunk with locals. They were really nice to me. I was like really personable with them. Then I was like, well, who's got like some drug? Like, this
you start looking
delicious
around.
beer.
It's like gaydar with
and then
drugs.
you meet one guy.
It's like when you know who the hooker is in Vegas at the bar, mixed in with everybody
else.
Who's
the working girl?
You go, Diet Coke, video poker for 40 minutes by yourself.
When your hunger for something is high enough, you just have this insatiable.
Amazing! It's so interesting.
And so I met this guy, and finally, and so we started partying. Started getting really drunk. We ended up not going to this club because we were high, rolling on ecstasy, and then we were immediately each other's best friends. And he introduced me to his girlfriend, who was really ugly but really sweet. And she says, and they're like, I was like, hey man, this is great, but honestly, I love Coke's my thing. And I could teach you. I mean, I've been smoking it. A lot of people look down on smoking crack, but and they're like, well, the crack scene in Paris is where it's at. And of course, I was like, let's do it. Who's ready for the channel? We're going to Paris. No sleep, no nothing. I've already been in Europe like maybe 40 hours. We're on our way to Paris. So I get to Paris. We start partying, and I check into this. I actually find a place to stay now. So I get this like little crappy hostel. We all go back. I change my clothes. We get ready to go, and I start looking for Coke. We find Coke like that in Paris, in downtown Paris. I take him back to my room. I'll never forget this. Teach him like I'm friggin' Mr. Wizard, showing all these kick-ass drug users how to make crack.
The channel must be amazing on ecstasy.
I don't know if I don't remember it. I think we actually flew.
Yeah,
but I mean,
a plane must be amazing on ecstasy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've done plane on ecstasy a lot actually.
Wow, that must be a cool.
Like San Francisco to LA or vice versa.
Right,
yeah.
Sorry.
So we get to Paris. I'm showing all these people how to cook crack. We're drinking wine. I'm like really living.
Because you're classy.
I'm living the bon vivant lifestyle. Smoke a bunch of crack. Go to these bars and clubs. Then we go to this place that serves absinthe, like real absinthe, and I'd always want to try it. Try that. Now everything's starting to get really hazy. On top of like.
You're 100 hours into a drug binge. You're like, now I'm starting.
No, I mean like
memory.
really hazy. Like I don't know what the hell happened after that, but I do remember like me saying like we need to try absinthe. So we do, and I haven't slept at all either. I mean, this is really hard living. Next thing you know, I wake up, not in someone's room in a hotel, in the hallway of a hotel that I've never been in, that I don't recognize at all. I'm wearing nothing but my boxers, which I've shit in.
Nice.
So I'm lying face down. Imagine this. You're in a country where you don't speak the language. I have no idea where I'm going. I have no passport, money, keys, wallet, anything on me. I just have shitty pants.
Sounds like a Radiohead song.
So I go to the elevator. Boom. I'm like, please don't let anybody be in this elevator. Please don't let anybody. Sure enough, full. I'm like, I'll wait for the next one. Boom. 2 people in the next. So I back in so they don't see like my crappy pants. And I wait. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? I'm going to get to the lobby of this hotel. I don't know where I'm in Paris. Like, where do I go from here? So I run out into the daylight. My eyes damn burn out of my head. I look around, I'm walking and I've got my hands behind my back like I'm royalty, so I can like at least try to block the brown stain a little bit. And I must have been passed out for a good amount of time because like the poo wasn't like, you could tell it was like diarrhea, but it wasn't just dry. It had been dried. Yeah, so I must have been like passed out. So it wasn't like dropping out the bottom of my underwear.
Like tire tracks
exactly.
in a murder scene.
But it was like a big splotch.
When they take like, Matt's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, like when they take like a chunk of mud and they put it in a Ziploc bag to measure the
that's a good analogy.
But I see Matty Cohen like, what the fuck?
And
I see my producer Perry Jordan.
So I finally, I'm like, oh my God, that is where I'm staying.
Dave Jordan. Sorry about that.
That is where I'm staying. I remember it was a tall, skinny hospital. It was only like as wide as 2 rooms, but it was really tall, and it just said hostel. And I was like, that's it. That's clear. Finally, something I remember.
It's across the street from where you were.
No, it was probably a half a mile, but I had to kind of navigate
You're walking
back.
through the streets of Paris with dried shit in your
Using only my subconscious to guide me, because I was like, where was I? Did I go this way? Don't remember a thing. I get in there and I'm like, wait a second, I don't have a key. So I had to go back to before